Now let's witness how to use all those amazing AI models in one place. In my opinion, this is the most amazing AI advancement so far. Spaces in Freepik. That's why I'm talking about Freepik in this video, because like Spaces is a game changer. So let's go quickly and see what it is, and you will know what I'm talking about in just a second. Basically, Spaces lets you use all the AI models in one place. You can switch or cooperate between them, and also you can convert them into videos in one place, and also you can do voice generation. What's really amazing in here is that you don't have to keep switching between different websites. Go to maybe Gemini and create your images using Nano Banana in there. Then go to ChatGPT and get a text prompt to maybe do animation to that image. Then get back to Freepik to do another stuff. We've been doing that since AI has been doing amazing stuff, switching between different websites. But now Spaces lets you do everything in one place with all the featured models. So once you click on Spaces, log into Freepik, you can click on Spaces on left side. You'll find My Spaces, what you've been doing before, shared and templates. Or you can create a new space. Okay. So if you click create new space like that, where you can start adding different elements or nodes and start collaborating or creating amazing workflow in very short time. So instead of starting with that, we're gonna start by learning about main concepts in there. What are spaces? So back again, Freepik is giving you getting started spaces, if you will. Yes, these are spaces. So here, once you click on templates, you can find the getting started, which we're gonna use actually to demonstrate and explain more about spaces, because they do have some nice presentation in there, along with my own explanation, of course, and creative thoughts. And also you do have Spaces templates, which is really amazing. We're gonna talk about them later, but I want you to get excited. So imagine you can use these templates in there, customize it to your own workflow. So if you wanna get your ad looking like that for a client, maybe if you wanna create animation, if you wanna do an ad like that using AI, it's a template. You can customize it to your own need. Scrolling more, just giving you a sneak peek because it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. And I'm really excited about Spaces, and not only me, probably all designers out there, because like it's making life much easier, combining everything in one place. So imagine you can create that with like few clicks as a transition, or maybe replace that logo and put a message in there or so. We used to do that, like we needed studios and a whole team to create something like that. Life is getting easier, and yeah, it's a great time to work as a designer, achieving everything. You can be a creative studio on your own. So I hope you are thrilled to know more about Spaces. Actually, we do have Welcome to Spaces. If you want to follow along with me, you can go to Spaces on left side and you can click on Welcome to Spaces. Maybe that's the first one. Yeah, click on that. That's a template, and once it's loaded you can click in here to use template, so we can interact and add even our own elements. As you can see, currently we can't do anything, so we're gonna use template. Okay, on upper left corner you can see that that's a personal project Spaces, and you can click in here to change its name so you don't get confused. You can change cover as well for the spaces. You can duplicate space, you can create a new space, move it to folder. So it's really handy to know that's in there, and it's gonna automatically save everything. So let's type rename, that's 2. Once you click outside, it's gonna be saved. Okay, so on left side you can see that we do have a small toolbar. That's really handy. You can click on plus to add a node and select hand tool, similar to graphic design applications. Cut, sticky note, comments, undo, and settings. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that in a moment, but we need to talk about some concepts or names. By the way, if you wanna learn from these, you can read How Does Spaces Work, and you can see these two first, then you move to How to Create Spaces, then you can see that How to Navigate, and you can see that, and running a template from storyboard to motion, you can go through that. Okay, not to get confused. Zooming in, the background is a space. What we add is called a node. So let's click on that plus and let's add maybe image generator. That's called a node. That's the language in here. Okay. And since we added image generator, we can move it around as you can tell. We can add another node, maybe a text. Okay. So now we do have a text and we do have image generator. We can start connecting that to that. Before we do that, we can type something like any text prompt you would like to type in here, planet Earth. Okay. And let's connect that to our image generator. From here, we have some options. We can select our model. Let's go with maybe Seed Dreamlight, and we can change aspect ratio from here. Let's make it 9:16. Could be a background for your iPhone or Samsung, maybe. And 2K is the resolution. How many generations we can add from here? Let's keep it 1. So that's a node, that's a node. This is a node for text, and this is an image generator. Once you click play, it should generate planet Earth, okay, using our selected model, which is Seed Dreamlight 5. That's what we selected. And estimated time 21 seconds. Okay, these are the names as you can tell. Space, node, connector. This is a connection between these two, and we can create a panel or a group. So planet Earth, that was very generic, so it gave us that result. So let's add another node. We tried the text, image generator, video generator is a similar one. Let's add an assistant. This is really handy. This is any large language model inside Spaces. So you can see the image is getting clearer now. You can select, instead of ChatGPT, we can select maybe Claude. Okay, Claude Sonnet 4.5. And this is where we can type description. So the AI will be generating a text prompt for us. So let's type something like hyper realistic photo shoot, or photo, let's give it photo of planet Earth from space. Now once we play that, Claude will be creating a prompt for us. That's what we got. This is what we typed, a prompt. We could have even added prompts here, if you will. Okay, it doesn't really matter. In that case, we're gonna experiment what we got from here. This is the result from AI, and this is our model. Now, as you can tell, we do have that image generator using that simple text prompt. It wasn't really much, but we can connect this one to here. So you think we can keep both of them? I really prefer to disconnect this one. So let's click on it. Now we have disconnected that text prompt and we have connected this. If we press play, we can play this node only, which is our text prompt, or workflow, which is going to be 51 credits. It's going to be that text and that image generator. Run from here will be working from here to there. So let's do that. Run from here. We can move them around, as you can see. We can delete some nodes if we want to. Selecting and pressing delete. We can select both of them and arrange instead of getting messy. Okay, I prefer to move it like that. Or even we can select both of them and create a group from here. This is our generated image. Looks pretty much like iPhone background. And of course, changing the model will give you a completely different result. So let's go to Nano Banana Pro, and instead of recreating that one, let's duplicate this one. Pressing Command or Control D will give us a duplicate, and we can play this one. So this is using Seed Dream. We didn't press play, so let's keep it as it was. And this will be Nano Banana Pro. Refresh. We can select that group and move it. Remember, we created a group, either to organize them or to use that to affect another element. We will see that in action later. However, now we are talking about the basics. So by far we can add nodes. One node can be for text only, or even AI assistant. So instead of going to ChatGPT and ask it for a prompt like so, we can do that inside Spaces. So instead of switching between different tabs And even you do have access to all large language models or famous ones. You do have Claude, you do have Gemini, you do have ChatGPT. Not all of them, of course. There are other Chinese cool ones. Now, this is the result by Nano Banana Pro 2. This is Seed Dream. And even you do see 3 in there. If you click on that, you can see our generated images enlarged if you want. Okay, we can close that. So let's go back to our basics, okay? Here it's talking about different types of nodes. We've seen the text, we've seen the image generator, we've seen media. No, we didn't see that one yet. We have seen the assistant, which is including our large language models. Video generator, we'll talk about that one in a moment. And we do have image upscaler, okay? If you want to upscale an image, so these are types of nodes, okay? So let's go back to media. Now we have added, let's change that image to final result. Okay, now let's say we would like to add an image of our own. We can right click outside, by the way, instead of clicking on that plus, and we can see that we do have different categories. From here, you can press on media, you can select assets or uploads from your own PC or stock. So let's go to assets. This is what you've been creating using AI. You can select from stocks on Freepik. Remember, everything is in here. So it's an amazing, it's a heaven for a designer. So let's go to Planet Earth. So these are stock images. You can look for maybe something like this one. Let's say we like this one. Add media. Now we have a different lighting for the Earth, and maybe it looks a bit cooler in here. Maybe it's slightly similar. I don't know. However, this is gonna show you something different. Since we are using a Seed Dream in here, we can use that one to connect it as well from here to that image. We have to connect it to here. A reference. There is a reference handle and a text. So currently we do have our text prompt is giving us a visual, but also we do have a reference image as well. It should be affecting the result. So now we can regenerate. Also, let's see a different generator from here. We can click on that side and drag. So it's really flexible. You can do using different methods. So by dragging from here, you can add more nodes, maybe video generator, or you can click in here and select from all video generator. That's one way. However, in that case, you will do it in 2 steps. You have to drag and connect, okay? While when you drag from that one, you can create a node and it's connected already. So it could be a bit faster, okay? So let's delete this one, select and delete. We have our result done, completely different version inspired by this one. This is as a reference image. And remember guys, these models, not every one of them will be complying with reference image. So if you remember, we talked about that before in our previous video. If we go to model, all models, we can see that we have a reference in there. Not every model has that one. For instance, Zeus doesn't have a reference. So even if you connect it, it's not gonna give you the result you're looking for. And even if the model has a reference next to it, it doesn't mean that this model is adhering 100% or to a great extent. While Nano Banana is known for that, which could be a very good thing. You want to keep your products features as they are. So maybe in that case, you're going to use Nano Banana instead of maybe other model like this, okay? So let's go back to our basics. Since we do have this one connected to video generator, we can select from different models as well. Here we have Veo 3, which is really amazing and cool. It was the most famous one for a while. Now we do have 3.1. That's how it is with AI. However, what's really taking all the flashes and the scene, it's Seed Dance. Look at this. This is very expensive, by the way. I expect it to get cheaper after a while. However, Seed Dance will be taking up to 5,000 or 6,500 per credit. So let's go back and select maybe a Veo 3.1. And from here, we can reduce that time. Just an example, man. We need to connect this to not every model like that. So we need to put start frame. We can leave the end frame as it is, or even we can connect this one to end frame. So Earth could be transforming. Now, since we do have Google Veo 3.1 Lite, it's supporting the start and end frame. So if we go back to our example in here, if you want to know about video generation models, you can switch to video. This is if you click on Freepik, you can also access that one from here, video generator. Okay, then you can select this one. Here we do have models, seed dance of course featured right now. Let's go to all models where you can see what is really featured at the moment you're watching that video. And also you can see which one will be supporting start and end frame like that in here. So as you can see, Kling 3.0, but not many other models is supporting that. Seed Dance is doing that. It's not in Kling 3.0 and so on and so forth. So that's a great way to learn more about models because, like, to be honest with you guys, there are so many of them and it can be really confusing. So when you look at that list, things can make sense. The other way, of course, is by experimenting. So let's go back to our video. We're not going to add a sound. By the way, adding a sound, extending our duration and even resolution will be affecting the credits. So since that's an example, let's make it vertical as well. Also here you can connect it to a prompt or you can type in here what you want to add. So when we hovered over this, it's giving me missing prompt. So let's type here, rotating Earth in space. Okay, hit play. So as you can see guys, in the same space, we have large language models. We do have a reference image, an image generator using different model from the other image generator. And also we have access to all video generators. And also we're not even through all the nodes. We can do other stuff like voice generation. We can do enhancements and edits to our images, or we can create a workflow affecting another workflow, which we'll see in a while. But now we are talking about everything is convenient. Everything is like in the same place. You don't have to keep switching, which is really cool as well for creativity. So now we do have our video running at just 4 seconds. Hovering over that, you can see it. That's our start frame and it's transforming into the end frame. Really cool and artistic, as you can tell, in few clicks without even thinking. However, let's discover more about nodes. So we have gone through basics, creating space from scratch. We did that using a template. We are using a template, checked, join a shared space. Yeah, what's really cool about spaces is that you can share them and collaborate. So you can click in here, you can copy invite link, or you can give them authority, whether to view or edit. And once you collaborate with others, they can leave a comment, like as you can see from here, this is where you search comment and you can work with others on the same project. So it can be a very big project. In some cases, everyone is sharing his own creativity and his own vision. So that's really cool. We can add even sticky notes for others or even for yourself to be more organized or to know more about your workflow. If you're going to continue over time, you need to add a creative idea, remind yourself of something. You can do that from here. Let's type life is good, because that's what I feel when I'm using spaces. And let's discover more in here. So as you can tell, we can add different nodes. We've spoken about that. Add images upscaler. Let's do that. Let's drag and select upscaler from here. So you can select whether to be precise or creative. And we do have different models as well for the upscaler. So let's keep it as it is. And you can select to make it 2x, 4x, 8x. Then you can hit play. So let's make it 4x and let's run this one. Okay. While it's doing its thing, let's go back. And by the way, guys, we didn't talk about navigation. And I thought that's obvious. I'm using my trackpad, using 2 fingers in there. I can zoom in and out using my trackpad or touchpad on your keyboard, just like navigating in any website. Still, we are within a website. However, there are other cool controls. So for instance, we can select node and we can duplicate it like in Photoshop or Illustrator, pressing Command or Control D, and we do have a duplicate of that one. Let's undo that, pressing Command or Control Z, or delete it like delete button. We do have some options in there like quick connections. If you want to add image generator, if you want to open preview, pressing A as well should do that. A can open any image. You can edit image in here as well, just like what we talked about before. So basically you can remove bars, you can crop the image, change the camera angle and lighting as well, relight the image if you want. Okay, well, we're not gonna do that. Let's cancel that and let's see our upscaler. Currently we started with this one 1536. Now it's 6000. That's 4x, that's 1x. We enlarged that one to be very large. That's why it took so much credit. So anyway, these are some nodes. However, we were talking about shortcuts. Let's delete this one and let's go to settings because this is really handy as well. Here, as you can see, we do have general helper lines. If you wanna delete them or not, these are grid lines and like guides. We do have edge type if you wanna change its look, and navigation if you wanna control that, mouse wheel, whether it pans or zoom in. When it comes to shortcuts, there are so many as well, but copy and paste, duplicate, we talked about that one, Command or Control D if you're using a Windows. I think navigation is the most important ones. So D will be zoom to fit, zoom to selection F. So I'm not gonna talk about them because it's boring to talk about shortcuts. However, let's try D, F, and Command and 0. Because like, so now I'm gonna press F, nothing happens. If we select this one and press F, now we can zoom in. Command and Control 0 will be resetting our zoom level. F, pressing F, doing that. A and opening a preview like that. So by now you get the idea about so many stuff in Spaces. By the way, guys, you need to start experimenting because like, yeah, watching these videos, yeah, everything looks convenient and makes sense. But once you start practicing with me, you will see that, oh, where am I connecting that handle? What's the difference between that side and that side? This is where it's receiving, this is where it's exporting a side. The option bar, if you select any of these, you can see different options in there. Quick connections, open preview, downloading that image, deleting, and even you do have more options in there to duplicate, for instance. And if you would like to set it as a cover, lock, so many options actually are self-explanatory, but hopefully by now everything is starting to make more sense to you guys and you're starting to see the awesomeness of Spaces. Going back to our checklist to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, running a template from a storyboard. Basically, you can add a sketch or a storyboard and add a text. Then you start connecting this one to assistant, creating scenes. So you started something like that, sketches. However, you want to get something like that, a scene from a movie, and even all the way to generate video. By the way, guys, there's something in here that I need to show you. If we started editing that workflow, it will be affecting the other nodes, which is really, by the way, productive. So let's do something. Let's get our stuff a little bit more. Let's duplicate everything, Command or Control D. Now we have duplicated that workflow. You can see how you can get really productive using these shortcuts and these features in there. Now, actually, let's select all these. Let's group them, arranging. Let's ungroup these first. Then let's group those. Let's arrange to be more organized. And by the way, you can change the color if you want. So you can tell which is the original, for instance, and this is a duplicated workflow. Then now that's the Earth description. We start adding something like maybe to our final result. Going back, hyper-realistic photo of a planet Earth from space with a meteor about to hit our planet Earth. Okay, so if I press run, it's gonna be a rerun 1 credit for that text prompt to generate a prompt for us. If I select this node only, it's gonna be 1 credit. However, if I select rerun from here, it's gonna be affecting everything after that node. So let's rerun this one only to have control, because like I'm not gonna apply that to every scene in there. Okay, so now we have a new prompt. Should be a bit dramatic. We can select our image, then refresh only this one. That's why it's gonna take less credit, because that prompt in that case will be affecting only that one, that node, not everything. It's not gonna be affecting the upscaler and the video. And by the way, the upscaler is like taking tons of credit, so I'm gonna disconnect that one if I want to rerun the video. So we can run this node only. Since we have about 30 seconds, let's discover more nodes. So we have basics, we have talked about them. List, we're gonna cover it alone. And we have upload assets, stock in media. We've seen that we got actually that image as a stock from Freepik. A reference, we can add a reference. From here, you can add a reference. So you can click here to select either from a featured or my styles as a reference for the workflow as well. Let's add maybe, if you like that style, trends of 2025 or minimal, that could be a reference for your workflow as well. So this is minimal typo, by the way. If you want to add type to your text, add. Now we have a reference. Here it is. Where was that one? So it doesn't really look that realistic, but yeah, it's going maybe, it could be cool. Maybe we can start creating variations from that one. However, now we can connect that reference to that image. Now we have a reference of minimal, and also we can add text. Let's type something like Astro, and let's make it a sci-fi movie title, Astro. Rerunning, and let's go back to our nodes. Let's do a thing, discovering more nodes. So as you can see, guys, image, we've seen all of them. This is a new one, designer, image editor, and designer. Let's see, designer in here. So from here you can click create. Actually, it's really cool. From here you can start either from scratch or Freepik collections. So for instance, you do have social media post, story, and YouTube thumbnail. You're gonna get a layout with aspect ratio along with text. So that's why it's called a designer. It's giving you everything, man. All you need to is like customize it to your own within a space. Of course, you can show more from any of these. So maybe something like that. Let's try. Use this page. So from here you have some more customization like project name, layout, horizontal, vertical, and millimeters or inches. Let's keep it as this, pressing done. Now design in cube. So here we have this one as a list, and apparently it's also affecting our generated image. So let's duplicate this one, Command or Control D, and let's move this all the way up to here, and let's move this one up to here. Now we do have this one as a list. This is a node we didn't talk about. However, a list, as you can tell, can include more than an element, either images or either text. So we can connect that one to our image like so, and from here we can rerun our image. Now guys, you can see the difference clearly. We have matched that style from here to there with our font changed, RGB effect in there. Wow, that's really cool. I mean, I didn't even think of that visual, and it's looking cool. Could be a cover for an album or something like that. With minimal is affecting that one, and this was our previous image. So you see what's going on in here? We started from a very simple elements like text, and from large language model, a prompt like that gave us a prompt. Using Claude, you can use ChatGPT, Mini, or whatever. Then we do have a reference, and it kept evolving like that. We can keep connecting different ideas to get a different result. So Designer is really cool. You can even add another design and experiment. So that's something worth remembering, to go ahead and experiment what you are seeing in there, because it's really fun. Also, let's go to discover more in there. So we have seen designer, we have talked about image editor. If you want to see it, you can connect this to that like so and start editing, expanding the image, cropping, changing camera angle or light, real light, same options we've been talking about before in Freepik. So you can do that from here. Let's click on this one. From here you can change your lighting. Then you can press play, but however don't have a very dominant light in here, it's in space. So I'm not gonna press play, you can get the idea of that one. Discovering more. Here more in image, you can see that we do have image to SFG. If you wanna convert that to a different format, or SVG generator. So let me show you guys what is this. It's vector basically. Describe the SVG you want to generate. Skull of a human. Let's play this. This is an SFG. It's similar to vector. You can use it in Illustrator or in websites. Really cool to have that in there. You can refresh if you don't like it. You can connect it and get that one to affect your workflow if you would like. Or this could be a logo, for instance. So you think we discovered everything in here? We do have the image discovered. However, in video, we still have more nodes in there. We discovered the video generator. We can add a speak. That's a new video combiner, is a new as well. You can combine two videos. You can add a speak to a character. So you can connect a character along with source video and audio input. And you can generate audio as well in here. So let's go back to plus. This was recently added. You can combine two videos. You can upscale a video similar to image upscaler. You can extract media from that video, for instance, we created. So here in audio, you can add a voiceover, which is really amazing, man. You can even access 11 labs, for instance, version 3 to Gemini 2.5 Pro. So here you can type your own text with audio tags like laughs to create expressive speech and add pauses with tags like pause 0.5 seconds. You can generate that one using maybe ChatGPT or whatever. And here you do have the voiceovers, tons of characters, as you can tell. Really amazing having the 11 labs even in here included with your own subscription. You don't have to go and create the voice in 11 labs, download it and come and upload it in your Premiere Pro, for instance. You can do everything in here. So let's go back to plus. Sound effects. You can add something like that. You can describe sound effect you'd like to. Something like swoosh. If you would like to loop it, how many seconds? How many generations? Let's try 3 and let's run. It's gonna generate 3 of them. I'm gonna select all while holding shift key, clicking on them to be a bit organized. This is a voiceover if you'd like to try it. Okay, let's play that. Sound effects, as you can tell, and we can connect it maybe to something like speak. So going to remember that one, speak. We can go ahead and try that swoosh. You can go ahead to audio connect. Also, you can add a character and add a video source and generate. So let's go to where is stock character. Connect our character. Then you can add a video source and so on and so forth. So let's get back to our nodes. Let's discover if there is something missing in there. We can add voiceover. We've seen that. 11 labs, sound effects, we've seen that, and music generator. Same idea. You can describe your music in here and select your own model. Is it gonna be 11 labs or Google Lyria 3? Wow, man. All we need to have is maybe Sono. Add Sono, guys, soon. Okay, so then we do have utilities, lists, sticky notes. We've seen that with stickers. You can add stickers. Okay, if you want to add a sticker. So as you can see, guys, it's my mind was racing in there with all these utilities and creative stuff we can create within Spaces, having to access all these models, either video generation, audio generation, image generation. Wow, all these models in one place, and you can connect them to each other. And even we do have something like the designer there if you want to control your output to that extent. And by the way, this is just the beginning. We didn't go through the templates of Spaces and how they can be amazing. So yeah, stay tuned. Alright guys, that was Khalil Ibrahim with you. Hopefully that was a clear explanation. Now go ahead and experiment with this, and the more you experiment, the more you will feel confident using these amazing tools. Take care, and I'll see you in next one. Bye.